Some teachers say beingness, I amness, is permanent. Others say it's not. Can you talk about that? Yeah, that's interesting, eh? Where did you go, Andre? You disappeared. Oh, yeah. Here. I don't know what they mean by all of these definitions. So traditionally, the way it's taught is that there is nothingness. Then the first thing that comes in is consciousness. Then the body comes in, because consciousness needs a body to look through. And as soon as the body arises, I am arises. And then the last thing is everything. And so that's the traditional way of teaching it. So it's nothing, consciousness, body, I am, and then the world. But really, they're like this. It's not separated out. And so some teachers would say that nothingness is the source of everything, so that is the only constant. And they might say that beingness goes in nothingness. So when there is absolutely nothingness, even that beingness or that I am goes. But also consciousness would go in that. But you could also look at it from a different angle, where you say that consciousness is not being conscious of anything, so consciousness doesn't go. To me, I don't really know the correct way to say it. I just express it the way that I do, and I don't really know, when we get to these different layers, the intellectual correctness. All I know is that freedom is this moment, is this emptiness, which is all things. My perspective is, if I were to say anything, is that nothingness never exists, so we only ever experience existence. So therefore there will always be this sense of being, because you can't have one without the other. Like nothing, if we just go into a pure state of nothingness, there is no existence there. So then there would just be instantaneous awakeness again. So imagine, like, if we went into nothingness for like 2 billion years, that 2 billion years from nothingness perspective is instantaneous. You only know the 2 billion years from the place of existence. So in a way it's impossible for it to be any time, so it will just be instantaneous. So if life goes back into nothingness, so into no expression, then it will instantaneously express again, because even if it sits there for whatever amount of time, that time doesn't exist, so it will just be instant. Time can only be judged in the world of form. So that would be like what it feels like, or what comes here. It doesn't feel like it here, but what comes here to be said. But there is no right or wrong answer to that. That's all really existential, and we're using our limited words to try and express it. The most important thing, I think, is the recognition that who you are is this emptiness and fullness, this I am, this love that's appearing right here. And in that, everything disappears. Relationship, other people, the world, empathy, compassion, excitement, joy, all of that disappears in this moment. There is only what is, which is like even when you hear that sound, it's like it's gone. Danke, Andre. Please say something about the difference between using the word I before enlightenment, awakening, and then using the word I after enlightenment, awakening. Not using I and carrying on conversations can be really weird. Happy New Year, your friend Dennis in Kentucky. Well, I think that often when people have awakening, an energetic awakening, the tendency is to not use the word I, but that's not really recommendable. So a tendency can be to talk in the third person, but it just doesn't really work well in society. So you more than likely will train yourself again to use the word I, but not all the time. It's only a word, I, and it's the way that these bodies are described. So I went and got the shopping, I sat on the bed, and there's not really an I in there, but it's describing what these bodies have done to the other bodies, so there can be communication. What else should I do? How do I go to the shops? How do I buy a banana? It's very handy in communication, but there's no I there. There is nobody there. Who is there, Dennis? Who is there? Who? Who is there? Who?